So
It's the agenda.
by by way of introduction, real quick, well, we'll introduce ourselves on the next one. But just to let you know for today, as we introduce ourselves, we'll give you some good information about the company. One of the things I like to say about 1883, well, I don't like to say it, but I have to say, we're one of the best kept secrets when it comes to syrups. Well, that's kind of a bad thing in the long run because we want to make sure everyone knows about the product line, and the quality is just so amazing. So, unfortunately, we're the best kept secret in syrups, but hopefully you can help us spread the word. After that, like I say, we'll talk more about our products and we'll talk about the difference between ourselves and some of the other products that are out there. And of course, we want to talk about ways you can make some signature drinks, some ideas with flavor pairings, some ideas with inclusions, a lot of things that are out there. And it kind of reinforces the fact that we have a huge recipe deck. We have many recipes that are available at our website, as well as some others that are not listed there that we'd be happy to talk to you about. So, with that, I guess we can kind of go to a little bit of information about us. The first thing, though, we would like to say is thank you so much to Lollicup for having us here today. We appreciate Yentin and everything you've done to put this together. This is a real treat and an honor for us to be in front of you today. So, with that, my name is Russ Cullen. I'm the West Coast business manager, so I handle the sales for the Western states. And Pierre is also a West Coast business development person that we have here too. Pierre, a little bit about yourself. Where
Yeah,
you're from?
yeah, I'm from France and I joined the company 4 months ago. And so, yeah, I work with Russ alongside with Russ, and we are covering the West Coast from Seattle to San Diego,
Correct.
10 states.
So yeah, anything in between the Mexican and the Canadian borders, we handle that. So any questions that you would have about the line, please feel free to reach out through Lollicup. Feel free to let us know anything we can do to help you out with information. Again, recipes, whatever might be out there. We have some great ideas, and hopefully you'll catch on to some of the things that we can offer up. And it'll be of benefit to you and a desire to see some of those products coming up.
All right, I have a question. Some people is
Sure.
asking what about the Alaska? Do you guys also have channels in Alaska?
Well, of course, everything we do, we like to do through Lollicup. So we would prefer that you keep it through Lollicup. But yes, you will find that you can reach our products, I think, throughout most of the US. I'm not sure exactly, Yentin, how you would like me to do that question or answer that question, because we really want to make sure everybody knows that these products are available through Lollicup. And that's our primary focus, especially today, is to make sure you know that. But yes, the products are available in all 50 states. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I believe so. Thank you, guys.
Okay, sure. And then regarding the company, you might be surprised at a few things that we have to offer. And we'll let PN talk to you. And by the way, his real name, say your full name.
Yeah, my full name is Pierre Nicolas, but I'm called Pierre or PN.
Yeah, good luck. I can't even say it, so I call him PN, and he seems to be okay with PN. So,
Yeah, Pierre Osman is pretty fine. Yeah. Thank you, Russ. So about our company, so it's a French company that has been created in 1883. That's why we are called 1883. We are making syrups, but also sauces, smoothies, and a new range of products to purees. Everything is manufactured in France, so we are following the French regulations. Our company is really strict about the quality, and we can talk about our company in 3 pillars. Like the first one is the purity, because every syrups are manufactured and made with the French Alps water. About also the intensity, because we are finding the best flavors for our markets, and we are followed by an expert team from the research and development team, but also a barista team. And also we are working with an aromatic house based in France, where they can help us to find the best flavor and some novelties to bring on the syrup market. And yeah, so we are recognizable by our 1 liter bottle. So it's 1 liter, so it's 33.8 ounces. and we are distributed in 83 countries around the world. Yeah.
So with that, yes, we do many, many flavors. So again, not only is it the quality, but we also have a great variety. We do over 130 flavors, but we like to say we're 130 flavors, but we do more than that. And that's just our regular line. If you were to include everything else, we also, for example, we have organic products, we have sugar-free. So if you were to include all of those different products, including sauces, there are many more than 130. But when we're talking about syrups, we say that we're 130 plus syrup flavors. And again, the products are available throughout the world. As a result, with these flavors, you'll notice as you look through some of these different products on the screen, there are some kind of unique flavors. For example, we have a pandan, and the pandan is a great product inspired by Southeast Asia. We've done a great job with producing and getting the quality match on that again. So with that, we focus on things regionally. We even have a Africa, Madagascar kind of inclusion, not a vanilla, believe it or not, but it's called baobab, which is a fruit off of a tree from Madagascar. So we like to make sure we have regional flavors, and I think that's one of the reasons why we have the 130. We like to make sure there's a full range for anything your recipes might be looking for. Oh, and by the way, feel free to ask any questions during this. Yentin will see the chat, and then she'll just kind of give us a quick little interruption, which is absolutely fine. As questions come up, we're glad to hear it. So if you have a question at the screen, don't feel like you have to wait all the way until the end of the presentation. You can, but feel free to jump right in. We'll be glad to take care of the question when it seems slide appropriate for you. Some of the key differences we like to talk about with 1883 is the fact, well, like many of the competitors, but don't forget, not everybody is using pure cane sugar at this time. So we do focus on having 100% pure cane sugar. We think that's an industry standard that's probably justified. So of course, that means that we do not do any GMO corn products. So there's no high fructose corn syrup, which of course is a GMO issue for a lot of people. So that is one of the reasons we stay with the pure cane sugar, just because it's so well accepted. It has so few problems at this point in time with any kind of experimental growing techniques or anything else that might be out there. Something else to mention about our product, all of our fruit products are made with 10% fruit juice. Our competitors can't say that. They definitely cannot. So all of our fruit products, it's actually mandated by the EU that anything going out that says that it's a fruit flavor has to have a minimum of 10% fruit juice. That is not the case for products produced outside the EU. It's kind of it's a lot harder to make a syrup that works in both the EU and the US because we have to comply with regulations from both. So you get the best protections from both. That's why you get some of the cleanest products. For example, none of our products have any preservatives in them, and preservatives can be disguised in a lot of ways. Sometimes in the US, a preservative can also be listed not as a preservative, but as a natural flavor or a natural ingredient. Natural ingredients, there's a few in the US that qualify that are actually preservatives, and we don't do that. In the EU, it's fully required that anything that's a preservative must be pointed out as such. So no preservatives of any type in our products, again, keeping us a little bit cleaner than some of the competition. The water is something to really talk about. Don't forget, this is a simple syrup at heart, even though we've got flavors in it. You're looking at a product where almost half is going to be just water. So water quality, water purity makes a huge difference. All of our water, all of our products, therefore all of our water used is from the French Alps. So everything you get that says 1883, you can count on having French Alps water for any of the water ingredient. So that makes a big difference. And the flavor, the quality is just excellent. I guess that's why there's so many waters out there nowadays sold around the world that talk about the fact that they're made with Alps water. Again, we were talking about 130 flavors. We don't just do little spins on things. We do all kinds of great flavors. Some are regional, but to give you an idea of something that's not so much regional, we're now doing, for example, a spicy cayenne. If you want to take a product above and beyond the rest, you can add some part of the syrup could be spicy cayenne to give it a little bit of a kick. Going along that same line, another flavor, part of that 130, we now have is spicy mango. So of course we have regular mango. That's been around for a long time for us, but we now have a spicy mango and it's got a great kick. If you haven't tried it, it's really worth it. It's a great product here on the West Coast, no question about it. I think the spice craze is catching on everywhere. I know it's doing fairly well in the South now too, but our spicy mango is definitely one of our great flavors, probably one of my favorites at the time. My favorite changes probably every 3 to 4 months, but that's one to know about, I think, that you might want to check out. Also, our product is definitely in the U.S. warehouses of Lollicup. So Lollicup has our products throughout their system, so feel free, and it's a product that can be obtained through them at any time. Our products are GMO free. If you get a chance to see our products, I would highly recommend you take a look at the labels. On the labels, you'll see on the bottom right corner, you'll see that we are not only kosher, we are halal, we are vegan, with the exception of a few products. For example, honey. No one can make a true honey syrup and be vegan. You could do a honey flavored syrup and be vegan perhaps, but you could not do a true honey syrup like ours and still be vegan. So there's a few products, including our honey, that are not vegan, but otherwise the vast majority of the line, over 125 products, are vegan. And of course, being vegetarian also. So with that, you get the best quality, you get the cleanest label, and don't forget the flavors are amazing. We do have an incredible Q&A team. We have 10 people on the team that have been rated for sensory perception. And what that means is they were tested as far as what fragrances, what taste they actually are most susceptible to, and what they are least, they can least perceive. And as a result, whenever we come out with a new product, before it hits the streets, it's gone through their testing to make sure that we've hit the true flavor profiles that we need to have. So not only do we source the right products to put into the ingredients, but we also have some great flavors and people that can make sure those flavors are correct. All right. Again, if you have any questions as we go, feel free. We'll go ahead.
Yeah. Can I add something about
Please do.
Thank you. And some highlights about that compare us versus the competition is we are producing syrups in bottle of 1 liter instead of the 750 millimeters. So by the end, we are saving some bottles. And also we are making like around 70 syrups that the competition is not doing. So for instance, the cardamom syrup and the yuzu lemon syrup, we are the only one making these both flavors on the US market. And these both flavors are getting popular in cafes, restaurants, and bars.
You know, and that's also talking about the size of the bottle. That makes a big difference. That's something you need to also remember when it comes to pricing. So if somebody tells you, oh, your pricing is way too high, well, that's because there's 33% more product in the bottle, therefore it costs more. If you take a look at it, you'll probably find that we compare very, very favorably when it comes to pricing. Again, the best way to know, take the price of that product, divide it by the total ounces, figure out the price per ounce, and then do that with both products, and you'll have a good idea of the price comparison. So not only are you able to change less the bottles, but at the same time, you're going to have a product that cost efficiency is there because, again, when you compare it to the competition, the pricing is a lot better than what you think. All right?
And the bottles are either in PET or in glass.
Right.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Okay.
So, wow. Well, we are in the raffle session, but before we jump into the raffle, I have some questions that I don't know how to answer it. So if the 83 can also need to check their ingredients, they will answer it later on. So okay, I haven't launched the whole question, so everybody hold it. Because I'm going to ask some questions for on behalf of some of our audience. They are asking if it's a sugar-free, how is it be sweetened, and is there any other like a substitute sugar thing? And also the other question is how about the coloring?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay, one of the question is if it's a sugar-free syrups, what do you use to sweeten it? Or what kind of the sweeteners you're using?
Like that.
So it's a combination. So with that, it's part stevia, and then the other is, well, I wish I could tell you, it's Ace K is the short name for it.
Okay,
It's a combination of Ace K and sucralose.
okay, good. And also, how about the coloring?
The colorings, so with our products, glad you brought that up. Most of our products are all natural, which means all natural colors. Now, there are exceptions. For example, a good example would be blue curacao. Until they start growing a blue orange, we're not going to be able to make a blue curacao. That's all there is to it. But when it comes to the majority of the line, all natural flavor, all natural ingredients all the way through. So, but it does vary depending. For example, we have two lavenders. We have a lavender that is our most popular because it's a dark kind of a blue color, and people prefer that one. But we also have an all natural lavender, which is a very, very light blue because, again, the coloring on that is all natural.
Well,
Hope
that's
that
good to
answers
know.
the question. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I believe so.
the majority of the products are now all natural, including colors, but a few, you'll notice, anything that's a bright color that's unusual, like a red or something, it may not be that may not be the case. By the way, we do not use any red dye 40. I do know that a couple of our competitors are still using red dye 40 as well as other combinations to put into their syrups, and we do not at this point.
Yeah, it just is a very important information to everyone. So we're going to launch the poll. I know some of you are already answered the poll the questions in the chat, but I'm going to launch it. Now it's lunch. Can you guys answer the question? Where are 1883 syrups produced? Also, Ross, can you go to the next slide?
Yeah.
The poll question. Yeah. Okay. So everybody answer your question. I mean the poll questions and the poll question pop up with you. All right. We have a lot of people answer it. Most people are answering correctly, but later I believe Ross will let us know the answer. Please answer it because I'm going to close the poll question within 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to poll. Okay, so Ross, can you let us know what's the answer?
So the correct answer is France. Oh, we're locked out. There we go. The correct answer is France.
Yay!
Yay! So we'll see who's going to win that one.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of people answer it. No matter what, even some people answer the USA, you guys can also join the raffle. It's not that if you answer it wrong, then you are not be able to join. You will join it. But people who answer it on the webinar chat, I'm sorry, this time you probably will be passed. Okay. Okay, so back to and also I want to mention that is that after the webinar, we are going to send out a follow-up email. In that email, you will see the recording and also the PowerPoint. In this PowerPoint, I believe Ross put a lot of recipes in the webinar. I'm sorry, in the presentation. And yeah, so you guys can try it at home if you want to create the drink. And also, we are going to have the coupon for you guys to redeem. So remember to remember to redeem the coupons. Okay, back to you, Ross.
Great, thanks. And as a follow-up to that question, again, France is where all of our 1883 products are branded. So if it says 1883 on it, and sometimes it's kind of funny looking, I know some people think it's 183. That's understandable because that's what it looks like. but it is 1883. Anything with that 1883 logo is produced in France at that same location using only that French Alps water. So something important to remember, we think it's a real quality differentiation between ourselves and the others. As we know, for example, even in the US, water from the West Coast and the East Coast will be totally different. And as a result, it has to be processed to make the flavor consistent. We don't have to do that. We've got the cleanest, purest water, and it helps us to make the best product out there. So anything 1883 is from France.
And we are the first French exporter of syrups across the world.
Yeah. All right. We'll go on to the next screen.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can make a lot of drinks with like some of bases. Like for instance, you can make a drinks with milk, with coffee, coffee without milk, coffee with milk. You can make also like some flavor, some drinks with tea base or unsweetened tea. You can also make some mocktails and sometimes some cocktails. So you can make everything you want with all the flavors we are carrying right now. So the 130 flavors. So everything that you can create is possible with all of our syrups.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to throw in on top of that. So as we mentioned, we sell the product in 83 countries. In only 2 of those countries is it really used for coffeehouse operations. That would be the US and South Korea. Everywhere else our products are sold, it's really more applied toward a mixology program. So it's an incredibly diverse line. It goes so well in any kind of a drink you can imagine. And I think we need to realize that when we say mocktails nowadays, it's really kind of a new word for refreshers, spritzers, whatever you want to call them, dirty sodas. The product goes in anything, hot or cold. It has a good, pure flavor that comes through. So something to remember. It's more than just for coffee houses. And coffee houses, we love you. Keep on doing it. But we know coffee houses now are under pressure too. As their competition ramps up, there's a need to have more over-ice drinks. And of course, over-ice drinks, they save time, they save labor. But on top of that, they still have to have those clean flavors that are going to work and provide a variety of menu choices and options, whether it's a permanent menu item or a limited time offer, an LTO. The difference and the availability of the flavors really helps you to have the menu that's going to work best for your operation, and our syrups fit better than anybody else out there. Next, let's talk a little bit about the person behind all of this. We have a person, her name is Lisa Ash, and she is our Senior Beverage Innovations and Training Director. Lisa has some great knowledge. She is the one that came up with all of these recipes for us. She, again, talking about the diversity of the line, she started off as a bartender for many years. She worked for one of our primary competitors for 12 years, developing all of their recipes. And now she's with us, has been with 1883 for about 8 years now. Her understanding of the line, her ability to help out with trends is absolutely amazing. You will find that what we do, thanks to Lisa, is we put together regular LTOs. So we have for you a menu deck that'll fit almost any occasion that you can think of. Of course, the next holiday coming up is 4th of July. Yep, we have a menu deck just for the 4th of July. That'll cover everything. It'll do cocktails, mocktails, but the real focus is still on coffee drinks as well as tea drinks, along with refreshers and others. So we have that at any holiday you can imagine we do. We have Mother's Day, we have Pride Day, we have Halloween. Anything you could think of, we have a recipe deck dedicated to just that holiday. So feel free. In addition to that, we have a huge library.
So we have some questions here.
Sure.
There's a person who asked, if it's a fruity flavor syrup, does it work with the hot milk or does it got junky?
So what happens is when it comes to any of the fruit products, it's a matter of how much citric acid is in the syrup. And yes, many of ours do have citric acid as a natural ingredient. And so does it cause curdling? It can. As a rule, it does not. But yeah, it depends on actually the flavor. So the citrus products, yes, they're going to have curdling because the lemon and so forth, they have a fairly high citric acid. They do cause curdling a little bit. Again, it's kind of an industry problem. Everybody has the same issue. I think everybody's product does it because almost everybody's going to have citric acid in their product. So it can cause curdling. And that's noticeable, of course, if it's going to be in a clear cup. But as a rule, no. And it's usually for the hot drinks where you notice it more than the cold.
Okay. And the other question is, once it opened, how long it is good to go? How long would it last?
So after opening, it's good for at least a year. But really, all of our products brings up another really good question. All of our products have a 30 to 36 month shelf life from the date of manufacture. So it's over 2 years by the time it has at least 2 years when you get it. No matter how long it took them, your distributor, Lollicup, to get it, it's going to have that nice long time to it. After opening the product, it's at least a year. Now, I know we always kind of think about once something is open, it can go bad. One of the things about simple syrups it's in the nature of a simple syrup is because it has such a high sugar content, that is a natural barrier to bacteria. So no sugar or really high sugar are probably the two best ways to fight bacteria. And in this case, the sugar content for all simple syrups is at the point where it's high enough that you don't get bacteria. So you won't see the product go moldy or anything like that. I guess some manufacturers might have that issue occasionally, but it's probably because something else was introduced to the product or it doesn't have the right sugar level to it. But with our products, I've held products for a long time to test them, and you just don't see that issue. We just don't get a molding issue. So the biggest and also too, it's a best buy date and not an expiration date. And the reason we put a best buy date on the product is because the first thing to fail on a product, ours and everybody's, is usually going to be color. It's not that the product tastes bad or that it has a bacteria to it, but usually the color will start to fade after a certain amount of time. That's why the best buy date. And ours is located up on the neck of the product near the cap, in case somebody wants to look for it.
And do you recommend to store that in the refrigerator?
It can be stored in the refrigerator, but we don't. The only products in our line that we recommend that go into refrigeration are our smoothies. And the smoothies, because they have a high fruit content to them, we recommend that they go into refrigeration. But the sauces, the syrups, you can put them in refrigeration, but especially a sauce, once it goes into refrigeration, it becomes a lot thicker and it would be harder to disperse through the pump. But you could keep them in the refrigerator, but the bottles are so tall, Mars and everybody else, that usually most people don't want to do that.
But basically, they are all shelf stable.
They're shelf stable, right?
And how about the sugar-free line?
The sugar-free one, shelf life is not as long. Shelf life is about 2 years. And with that product, again, it's a best buy date. We don't have a problem with it molding or anything. So it's really just kind of like, it's got a lower shelf life, a best buy date, but we recommend about 2 years.
Okay, it's good to know. How about the like your puree or the smoothie mix?
Good question. So the purees don't have an issue with refrigeration, only the smoothies. So the purees, again, have a high enough sugar content. It's not really an issue. So with the smoothies, our smoothies are all natural. They have no added sugars to them. So with that, it's really everything you're tasting is going to be a combination of juice, puree, and water. So that's it for all the liquid ingredients. No added sugars. All the carbs come from the juice and the puree.
Okay, that's good to know. You guys can carry on.
Oh, okay. And so with that, that's what Lisa Ash does for us. She is our person. She does a great job with all of our products. She is the queen, the king of recipes, and anything that needs to be known out there, trends, everything, she's got it. And again, we come out with LTOs every quarter with new and inspired products. And we're going to be talking about some of the inspirations for this next year on top of it by season. That'll be coming up.
So how, as we said previously, sorry, you can make all the drinks you can imagine that can match your coffee's personality, complement or contrast, or you can make just a simple syrup like a vanilla latte, for instance. And you know, this is the big difference from France, because in France we are drinking like a straight coffee, an espresso coffee without anything else. But in the US, it's totally different. We are making a lot of new drinks with syrups, and we are mixing like some powders like the matcha and strawberry syrup, for instance, like for a refresher, for instance. So this is really great to see that the syrups have a real impact on the drink that people can drink. Yeah. Yeah. Next slide.
Okay. Were there any questions on that? If so, that would be up to you. But okay, so with that, let's get right into seasonal trend forecast. So this is not an absolute, but just to give you an idea of kind of what you might think about when we get to the 4 different seasons. As you know, of course, wintertime, we think things that are kind of warm, cozy, kind of rich, decadent, where summertime might be a little more light and a little bit more fun. And kind of along those lines, starting off with summer, we have some functional things. We really believe in textured products. So inclusions, whatever you want to call it, it's something that's going to take the product up and over the top. Boba, tapioca balls is a great way to do that. It's a lot of fun. Also, sometimes it might include little pieces of diced fruit or something to make it look like you have an inclusion of fresh fruit. You don't necessarily have to. Dried fruits go into that very well too. Of course, with the tropical, anything you can do to add that little flair of pineapple, lychee, coconut, passion fruit, those all make a difference. So we've got the flavor, but you might want to throw in an inclusion to take it to the top, whether it's going to be an over ice drink or a blended drink. It's a fun way to do it. Don't know about doing boba balls in a blender, but I guess you could, but I wouldn't recommend that necessarily. Don't forget even candies. In fact, our first recipe today is going to have a candy inclusion. I think you guys probably already know that we've seen out there, for example, Wendy's is talking about their frozen drink that they've had forever and a day. What are they doing now? They're adding cereals to it. They're adding just about everything to it. Don't be limited by anything except your own imagination. Anything goes nowadays. So anything you can imagine can go into an inclusion, and especially during the summer season. It's kind of a fun time to do it. The kids are out. They're cruising around with the parents and they get into a coffee house. Something with an inclusion that's cereal related is a fun thing. It gets them going. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Captain Crunch, whatever it is. I'm name dropping and I don't get any percentage for that, but just so you know. And then coffee free seems to be a big trend for us in the summertime too. Don't forget about that. Of course, to get around the coffee, you can go with tea. Tea, of course, has a reduced caffeine for the most part, but sparkling drinks, whether it's a club soda, whether it's a mineral water, a lot of options out there. And don't forget those in your drinks for summertime to make a refresher or other. Fall, we kind of start to think more cozy. Let's face it, there's a really big coffee company out there that's made a whole season out of fall. And of course, we know that Starbucks, everything pumpkin. Yeah, well, we've got some good pumpkins too. We do pumpkin spice, we do pumpkin pie. The difference between those two, the pumpkin pie would actually incorporate a flavor that's going to be more bakery savory, as opposed to just the spices that you would find in pumpkin. So of course, that's always going to be huge. That won't change. But don't forget, you can change things up with your drinks by adding a little bit more. If you wanted to do a pumpkin and give it a little extra kick, a little extra cardamom wouldn't be a bad idea. A little extra cinnamon, whatever works for you. Don't forget, you can signaturize it, even though you're using us as the core. You can bring a little more to it with the way you include it into the drink or as a decoration. Global, for whatever reason, we think fall is kind of a good time for global. Right now, we're really kind of noticing the Dubai chocolate is kind of doing a kick for fall. It started off a little while ago, but we think in the fall it's going to make a big presentation. So something to maybe think about for your fall offerings coming up. And then anything that's going to be kind of buttery, anything that's kind of like oil infused, that has more of a richness to it. And that kind of we think is a fall trend also. So this year coming up for winter, which will be the first part of 2026, We're thinking indulgent and elevated. With that, it's just after the holidays. Probably the biggest holiday after that is Valentine's Day. Anything red and chocolatey seems to do really well. But also, too, don't forget it's hot chocolate time. Don't be afraid to try something different with your hot chocolates. Our spicy cayenne is a great offering. So that spicy cayenne that we do, it's not really a flavor. It's not going to put a different flavor to it. It just has a heat element, a real kick on the back end when you try it. So don't forget to try something to kick it up. Spicy, it might have a connotation of being a Mexican chocolate, or you could actually add some of the Mexican spices to a hot chocolate to take it to the next level. Layered drinks like a tiramisu, a praline, or a speculoos is a fun way to go. They take a little more work, but again, it's something a little more indulgent, more indicative of the fall of the winter season. Garnishes, don't forget about your garnishes. They can also make a season for you. Springtime, we think about the floral products. We have such a huge range of florals, you won't believe it. You name the floral, we probably have it. We have violet, we have elderflower, all the other things that are common you can think of. On top of that, we do cherry blossom. If you're on the East Coast, or if you're on the West Coast, cherry blossom, West Coast and the Northwest, not so much below that, but if you're in the Pacific Northwest or the East Coast, cherry blossom, we saw last year a total surge of cherry blossom sales. We ran out of product last year, and we were totally caught off guard and outstripped our sales by double of what we had previously. So we expect that trend to kick again this year. So don't be afraid to be ready with those special florals to celebrate spring as we get out of this winter months. In addition to that, citrus is always a big one for the spring. It does well in the summer, but I think it really kind of talks to spring too. With that, we have not only our regular citrus, our lemon, our lime, but we do have yuzu lemon if you want to take it over the top, don't forget. And then, of course, spring is the time when people like to think about clean energy drinks. Don't be afraid to jump into that. One of the things I should really mention too, if you don't have a flavored matcha on your menu, you really might want to consider doing that. We are seeing huge sales in flavored matchas. Matcha did well by itself, but now, of course, like anything else, what's the next rendition? We're finding that matcha has now come to the point where strawberry matcha is huge. Blueberry matcha is big. I guess the idea of adding another antioxidant to the mix is kind of has a reason for the blueberry. So with that, that's kind of our forecast upcoming last half of 2025 and the first half of 2026. Again, we do have a special recipe deck that's going to be available for the year. So feel free to reach out to us. We'll be glad to let you get that. It'll give you some specific flavors and recipes you can work with. Any questions before we go to the next slide?
Yeah, some people is asking where to find the recipe deck.
So we have, if you go to 1883.com, you'll find many recipes. The library, though, is so large, we couldn't put it all there. So if you find that you want to find something that's a syrup-specific product, we can actually help you out with more recipes if you don't find enough of what's online. But 1883.com does have many recipes available there, too. But we have even, if you want to reach out to us directly, we can supply that.
Okay, so the other person is asking, they have used some other syrups, but when they add the milk and tea, the color just went off, disappeared. Would it be the same with French?
I mean, whenever you add anything that's white to something that's a color, it's going to reduce the color. I've not really heard that before, not even for the competitors. I haven't checked any competitors for that. But again, like for some of our products, the all-natural lavender, yeah, you wouldn't see any color. But if you use our regular lavender, you're going to see lots of color. So it's going to dilute a little because of the milk, but typically not as bad as I would have thought that it would be that bad. But yeah, you do expect it to be diluted.
Okay, good to know. So back to you, Russ.
All right.
I think this is the second question.
I'm sorry, we're out to the next raffle question.
Yeah, okay, so we are going to have oh wait, we haven't launched it. Okay, no matter what, I'm going to launch before we launch the poll question, some people are asking where the button is. You will see here. When I launch it, you will see the icon here, or you can go to the 3 dots here. I hope you can see it. You can, and then you'll click it, and then you'll find the poll question. So I'm going to launch the poll. Don't answer it, everybody. Okay, now I'm launching it.
All right, so now is the time to answer that question. Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's like a horse running competition. Okay, just answer the questions because I'm going to end the poll. So try to answer it as fast as possible. And after this, after we finish the questions, then I'm to draw the winner for the first raffle poll questions.
Very good.
All right. I am going to close it. So everybody don't answer it through the chat, answer it from the pop-up window. If you cannot see it, I'm sorry, your Zoom is not be able to run the poll question automatically, but you can always click the button on your screen here. Don't forget. All right. Okay, I'm going to end it in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, share the result is 10%. I believe Ross already let everybody know.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. But before that, Ross, can you stop sharing the your presentation? Because I'm going to run the raffle.
Yeah.
So we stop the sharing.
Stop sharing. Yeah, we stop our share. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen.
Close that.
Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we have 57 people answer the first question. This is the names. Okay. For security reason, I cannot let you guys see all the names, but it's the name is here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to draw it.
Oh, I like that Wheel of Fortune. That's a great idea.
Yes. All right. Oh my God. Okay, it's 37. 37 is Jordan. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce it. I already typed it in the chat. Congratulations. Okay. Stop sharing now. Russ, back to you.
Okay. So with that quick review on that question, so the correct answer is 10%. And so that's the guarantee that we make that all of our fruit flavors will have a minimum of 10%. There is an exception, of course, and that's going to be for the citrus-based products. And the reason for that, citric acid. The more citrus juice we put in there, the higher the citric acid content would be. And of course, that's what causes curdling in dairy. So that's the only reason that we run citrus at 7%, but all of our other fruits, we guarantee will have 10% of that fruit in the product. So none of our other competitors are making that claim right now, but we are definitely guaranteeing 10% minimum with the exception of citrus on all of our fruit flavored syrups.
And our competitors can call a syrup with only 1% of fruits. Why we can't call a syrup with fewer than 10% because it's manufactured in France.
And actually, I have seen product where it's not listed at all.
Yeah.
So be careful. When in doubt, read the ingredient statement. When you buy products, do yourself the favor. Grab the different products that I think. Grab one bottle of Torani, one bottle of Monin, one bottle of our product, and take a look at those ingredient statements and compare them and see what you're seeing. I think you'll understand that we really have a clean product, and the advantage again is a better flavor, but also a product you feel good about, and you'll have pride in presenting to your customer base, I'm sure. All right. With that, if there aren't any other questions, we're going to talk about some recipes. So with that, we are going to make up for you a summer fun recipe that we were talking about.
Okay, so probably do
We're just we'll start off by showing you the basic recipe, what it is. It's a mango gummy bear. And with that, we'll stop sharing the screen so that we
yes.
actually put the
Yeah, you're
focus
right.
on.
Yeah, you're right.
So
So we stop the sharing. Can you see us on the main screen? Yes, they're seeing us.
okay,
Yes.
very good. So
I think you
let's
can just step back just yeah.
stop there.
No, it just yeah, up to the line. Yeah, I think it's fine. Can you see? Okay.
So as you'll see off to the side, we have some of the 1883 product syrups listed over there. And what
Yeah.
we're going to do now is make a smoothie. Pierre?
Yeah, so we are going to make a mango gummy beer lemonade made with our lemonade syrup. So here you can also use lemon syrup, never mind, and also the mango syrup. So as you can see, this bottle is in glass, okay, and the lemonade is in PET, okay, and they all have a pump, of course, okay. So to make this mango gummy beer, we are going to use a 16-ounce cup, okay. We are going to use 8 ounces of orange juice. Okay. Yeah. So I'm using this kind of glass,
Measuring cup.
a measuring cup. Okay, 8 ounce of this. Okay, so 8 ounce, as you can see here. And for a 16-ounce cup, you need to add almost 3 or 4 pumps of each syrups. Okay, for a 16-ounce cup, you need 1 ounce of syrup. So in a bottle of 33 ounces, you can make roughly 30 drinks. Okay, just to give you an idea. So 1 ounce is 3 or 4 pumps. Let's say 4. Okay, so 2, 3, 4. And the same for the mango syrup. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then, as we want it as a smoothie, we need some ice. So you just need to add a cup of ice of 16 ounce, you see. So this one, okay. And then to feel better the taste of the mango, we added some mango chunks like this. You can find it in a random retail store. And we will add a cup of mango. Just like this. Okay. So you have basically a mango cup, a cup of ice, and your blend of orange juice and the both syrups. Okay. And then you need a blender, of course. And you can add the liquid. Okay. And the cup of ice. Okay. And then the mango chunks. Okay. To make a smoothie, you need to blend it during almost 25 seconds. So sorry, our blender is just behind, but you will hear the sound of the blender. So during approximately 25 seconds. Okay. So now you have the drinks. Okay. And then after, you will just need to serve into a glass, and you will have this kind of drinks where you can add inside some gummy bears. Okay. Just basically on the top and inside, and you can just stir the drinks. And then after you can drink it.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. And then, yeah, I've seen a question saying that it seems expensive to make this kind of drinks, but of course, it's a recipe that has been created by Lisa, our beverage manager, but we can, of course, make some simpler recipes.
Exactly. This is really kind of like a foundation for you. Adaptation is always a good way to go. Simplicity is great. That's why we have a mango smoothie. That's the really easy way to go. With a mango smoothie mix that we have, you just pour smoothie mix over ice and blend it. So that would also be an option. But if you're looking at kind of a upsell kind of a situation where you want to sell the product for more, or it needs to be kind of like have a bit of a bougie attitude, kind of like a poolside kind of a look to it, there's another way to take it to the next level. So that way, or with the regular smoothie mix or something in between, just kind of giving you some ideas for the season. These are not etched in stone, but it's just trying to give you some thoughts for ways to go above and beyond if you're interested in that. So with that,
do you want to make a simple
yeah. So what we'll do while we're still up, we'll just also show, to get around that question you just had of something being too expensive, we're going to go with a quick option. And we were talking about some of the things that are out there now. One of the biggest on-trend drinks out there right now is probably going to be flavored over ice drinks. And probably the simplest and easiest way to go and the most cost-effective will be a simple flavored iced tea. If you're fresh brewing your own iced tea or even buying one, it's very inexpensive by the ounce. And there's some great and quick ways to add to that. Today, we're just going to take a pure leaf product. It's disappearing.
The what? Sorry.
Yeah. So with that, we'll go ahead and let's see. I'm thinking today we'll just go ahead and stay along the mango line of things. We'll just go ahead and do a mango iced tea. Not sure if we really mentioned it or not, but the ratio for syrup to a liquid is typically 7 or 8 to 1. You might wonder why we picked that number. One of the reasons is most drinks are 16-ounce drinks, right? So if you wanted to make the right amount of sweet and flavor in a drink, 1 ounce of syrup to 7 or 8 ounces of unsweetened beverage will be the right ratio to drink as far as sweetness and flavor goes. So having said that, I'm going to do 1 ounce, which is 4 pumps of the mango. And to that, we'll add 8 ounces of iced tea. So between these two, the 1 ounce of syrup and the 8 ounces of iced tea, that's the right ratio for drinking. And then, of course, and by the way, doing it the way I just did, it automatically mixes. You don't have to worry about taking a spoon to incorporate the syrup into the beverage. It's already done. So just by pouring it that way, it'll go into suspension just right. It won't be stuck at the bottom too sweet or anything else. It'll go into suspension just right that way. And so now we'll take and add ice. To fill. And you have a mango iced tea ready to go. Great flavor, intensity is just right. It works out quite well and quite easy. You can garnish this with just about anything, not necessarily needed the way things are nowadays. But again, to give it an upsell, to kind of hit with that summer fun thing, to add a garnish, whether it's a mango chunk or a piece of citrus on top, just to kind of give it that summer feel, is a nice way to top it off and do it. But let's face it, most of the time we put a lid on top and a straw, and it's ready to go just like that. All right. We're thinking with the time limitations we have, that's going to be it for actually doing recipes to let you see. And we'll go back to the screen at this time and we'll go through some recipes real quick. talking about what we had else out there. And this will be on the deck, so it's available to you later to check it out. So with that, let's go back.
Yeah.
Okay. We also have some people asking a question. Can we use your syrup for the shave ice?
You know, I have not really tried it on shave ice. I've heard in the past that people do that. I would think that you can, and I don't see why not. But as a rule of thumb, there's a price difference, of course, and shave ice syrup is usually very, very inexpensive. But this one, yeah, it can be done and it's really good. So you just really kind of have to make sure that economically it's where you want to be. But the great thing is the flavors, the availability. You don't get the 1 gallon jug. You can get the nice 1 liter. You can show a lot of variety in the racks. But yes, I do know people who have, but I can't say that I'm actually selling a shave ice store to say that it's how it really works. I've not really tested it out that way. I apologize.
Okay, it's fine.
Do you have any other questions
Mhm.
about the syrup, the recipes, how to make a drink?
If not,
Yeah.
we'll go through the rest of the recipes. There's a few here. Again, because these are a little time consuming, these are over the top kind of recipes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So for fall, we came up with a Dubai chocolate. So there's a lot to this, making a cream, doing all kinds of stuff. It has pistachio syrup, chocolate syrup, half and half. This is over the top. This is a gone crazy kind of a drink, just to show you that you can be as creative as you want and make some really full-blown, great signature drinks that no one else will be able to knock out or even copy. And the garnish always makes a big deal too. And we crushed pistachio on top, or katafi or kataifi, however you want to say it. That's a great way to go. To make a cream, by the way, you don't have, if you decide you want to do products and put a cream on top, not like a whipped cream out of a can, you can take whipping cream and in a shaker, a bar shaker, you can put in some syrup, add it to that heavy whipping cream, shake it, and you get a portable cream that stays on top. FYI, just to let you know. Another recipe, thinking along the lines of winter, we were talking about inclusions. Here's a cinnamon toast crunch coffee. Kind of a fun thing to do. Great way to go. Anyway, so with that, there's a lot of recipes out there. We're running out of time. So we're thinking about, it would be the next raffle question since we're almost out of time.
Okay, good. So I'm going to launch the third poll questions. How many syrup flavors does the 1883 carry? So you guys can, answer it through the poll pop-up window. And just so you guys know, we are going to have the second raffle drawing after this portion. And after that, Ross and Pierre will introduce some of the products. So make sure you answer your poll questions here in poll pop-up windows. Thank you, guys. I'm going to close it within 5 seconds. So answer it as fast as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to end the poll.
So that's why she wants.
And you guys will see the answer is
Great.
130. Okay, Ross, can you let us know what's the answer?
Okay, so the answer is 130. It's actually
Yay.
more, but we say it's 130. So yeah, whoever answered 130, that's the correct answer.
Okay, so Ross, can you stop sharing first?
Be happy to.
Okay, I am going to share my screen. We have 33 people answered the poll questions, and the list is here. Okay, I'm to spin the wheel.
And we are launching about 5 syrups per year.
All right. The person who won it is 52 is Sandy. Congratulations. Let me see, and let me stop sharing it. Okay, back to us.
Okay, so with that, that is going to be most of what we've done. That's our presentation. With that, though, don't forget, we're still tabulating, I think, the last raffle, I believe. So with that, we thought we would just, if there are any other questions, feel free to ask those right now. But while we're doing that, just to let you know, we do have a lot of, there's a lot of viral videos that are out there nowadays. Feel free to check those out. We've attached them to this, so you should be able to access them. They're kind of fun. For some reason, we can't get the sound to come up on for you to hear it, though we can hear it when we click on it. But just to let you see some of the stuff that's out there, kind of recipes from, influencers and other people out there that are checking out the lines, kind of what ifs to do. So that's always a great source of inspiration if you decide you want to do it sometime. With that, I think I think that's it. Oh, you know what? Let's click. We're going to go a couple more screens into it. And so
Yeah,
Q&A,
or maybe you can introduce more of the recipes.
yeah, that's what I was about to do. Yeah. So additional recipes, just to let you know, just to this deck that you're going to have, we have a lot of stuff out there. Again, we've kind of gone over the top on these. You can streamline these any way you want. So really the main thing to remember is the amount of sweet to the amount of unsweetened beverage is the key. It's about an 8-to-1 ratio. Other than that, play with it and have fun. This one's called a berry chantilly lace. It has another cream on it. And again, you can just make that with a shaker with heavy whipping cream. Here's a great one, something that's a little easier. It's an over ice product called a butterfly kiwi lemon, using kiwi syrup, ice, fresh lemonade. Of course, lemonade's going to be a big thing too, we think, for the refreshers this year. I think it was big last year. We expect to see a repeat of that this year too. Cocoa berry matcha. Again, matcha with flavors is huge. We recommend sticking with looking at those kind of things. It's going to make a difference. 5-spice banana dirt. Don't forget dirty sodas. So a dirty soda, if you don't know, is probably the biggest craze that is on trend right now. It's the biggest growth trend that I've seen out there. And it's really nothing more than adding your favorite soda, whether it's Coke, whether it's Pepsi, Fanta Orange, whatever it is, and then adding a syrup to it. Is it too sweet? Yeah, I sure would have thought so, but this is a huge craze. Nothing is done special to the soda. They don't try to find a diet soda or a reduced calorie soda, just regular soda with any of the flavors. And it's just going crazy right now. I think dirty sodas for locations that are going to have a lot of kids as clientele. Anybody under 25 is kind of liking the idea of a dirty soda. And of course, to anywhere where it's hot. And if you're in the US this summer, I think everywhere is going to be hot. I don't think anything's going to be cool. So this is a great trend to think about doing dirty sodas. You know your cost right away. It'll be the cost of the soda plus the syrup, and it's ready to go. It's kind of a fun way. Again, this is just taking the idea of a refresher, and instead of using sparkling water, adding a soda to it. It's huge. It's a trend.
Yeah. Wonderful. Someone is asking, what's your favorite combination to make a refresher?
Oh, good question. You know, right now, since I mentioned I'm a spicy mango guy, I like spicy mango over sparkling water. So the 1 ounce of spicy mango to 7 to 8 ounces of sparkling water over ice is one of my absolute favorites. It's refreshing. It's still kind of sweet. It talks summer. But along those trends, there's the old tried and true flavors. Watermelon is a really fun flavor for the summertime. Again, you could do it sparkling water, or you could add it to a lemonade. That makes a really good combination. So those are kind of two of my favorites. PM, any favorite you would suggest?
No, yeah, I was just thinking like mixing matcha with lavender or strawberry syrup. That can be a good stuff right now.
That's very on trend. Matcha and lavender.
Yeah.
Don't forget, vanilla is really, when you add sparkling water to vanilla, it's a cream soda. So for somebody my generation, you grow up with root beer and cream soda. Cream soda is a really great drink, and all it is vanilla syrup with sparkling water, and it's been around forever. And in this case, there's a drink with espresso.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. So we are going to do our last raffle drawing. Can you guys stop sharing and I'll share my lucky wheel?
You got it.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to draw. We have like 55 people join the previous raffle. So let me spin the wheel.
I went a little too long. I should have jumped in and showed them look at recipes.
All right, it's number 37. 37 is Karat. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Yes. All right. So thank you guys. We will send out the follow-up email. Don't forget, we have a coupons, recording, and PowerPoint within that email for all the attendees. And if you are not able to join the webinar live, don't worry, you still get the recording in the follow-up email. So thank you guys. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Pierre. Thank you, 8083, for giving us a nice presentation. See you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.